Guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we've got my Mercedes SK camper build back on the table. So I've kind of had a little bit of a change of heart for the camper back on it at the moment. Basically I'm going through my collection and I am getting rid of a few things. One thing included was my 1/10 scale Unimog I built. One thing my Unimog had was this custom wooden bed, or metal and wood bed. I thought to myself, would it work with the SK? And I tried it out the other day and it looks pretty cool. As I didn't really want to scrap it or sell it with the Unimog, I've decided I am gonna modify it and make it work instead of the camper box. The box itself I'm gonna keep hold of, but I'm gonna break it down into smaller bits just so it's easier to store. So yeah, today's episode we're gonna try and get that to work. I don't actually have any wood to replace the decking. I still need to get it, but it's at stupid prices right now. I'm pretty sure I looked at a small strip off the stuff and it was almost like 4 or 5 quid. I'm like, what on earth? So for just now I am gonna cut and extend the bed and narrow the width. As you'll see in a second, it is actually a little bit too wide for the truck. I want it roughly about the same width as the cargo box. So enough chit chatting. I'm going to get this off and we'll make a start on doing that. Let's go. Right, so almost done with the bed. I've got to just modify it a little bit, basically slot these in, drill the holes from these bolt holes so it will all line up flush. But with it on the truck itself, it looks pretty good. My plan is these 2 spare tyres which were going to go on the back of the camper, I'm thinking about just bolting and mounting up here. But talking about mounting, that moves me on to my next 2 problems, or few problems. I have actually currently ran out of the new wood I'm using, so I need to figure out how I'm mounting this to the truck, which I'm thinking may be a plate which goes and slots in underneath. Then it can be bolted down and then this loop assembled around it, I'm thinking. And the next thing is battery and light controller placement. So of course this is going to have a light kit in it. It's not a Tamyia one, so yeah. Battery wise, I'm thinking I need to make an access hatch in the bed, and I'm just going to mount it. I'm just going to mount it in between the frame rails, switch the plug over from an XT90 to bullets, or a 90-degree bullets, and just have it plugged in there. Which then does lead to the issue of I'm going to have to take whatever's on the bed off it to change the battery. But last time I ran this, it ran for hours on one of these 520 milliamp hour batteries, so it should be fine. The next thing is I'm thinking, depending on the length of the lights, I may try and get the light controller under the rear of the frame. I'm not 100% sure yet if it will all reach the front headlights or not, but that's going to be a future Liam's issue to deal with. Which, to be honest, I may do it off camera because it may just be a pain in the arse to do. Because really, where it wants to go is in the middle, and then just have everything spread out. But yeah, so anyways, I've got to go to the shop and get some more wood, and yeah, I'm just going to do a couple of the little bits off camera and go have a look in the garage tomorrow and see if I've got any sheet metal to make the mounting points. Let's go. And that is all that I've got time for today, folks. So I'm kind of liking the little change I've done with the bed. I'm thinking this looks a little bit better than the camper. I'm currently undecided on how I am going to deal with the battery situation and everything. Basically, the light controller cables are a little bit too short from the front. I would theoretically like to put the light controller in the back, so I'm going to need to extend the front indicators and headlight cable and get some longer Y harness to bring it all the way to the back. And I also want to print some bits for it, which currently my printer is being a pain in the arse. So I can't print the bracket to hold the battery in place, and I can't print the, like, I want to say stowage boxes I want to put on the back here, just to try and hide the light controller and everything. So there is still that to do, but apart from that, I'm kind of liking how it's turned out. It is definitely, I think it's definitely more suited to what I want than being a camper. It means I can transport like WPLs and stuff on the back of it. It looks more my style. I do also have the spare wheels to go up here, which I will figure out mounts for at a later stage, which will probably be included in another video. So anyways, please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode. I'll see ya.